Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, April 15th, and we're going to go over our schoolwork for today, and we're going to do our Google Docs, doing some of our work. So I'm going to go over that with you. So on our page today, these are the things we're going to work on. Page 120, we're going to do math for today, week 24, day 3 and 4. 2 more spelling city assignments. I know some people were having some trouble with the hang mouse game. So if you continue to have trouble with that, sometimes logging out and then logging back in can fix it. But please email me if you've already done it twice and it does it to you again. I will reassign, leaving that out. I'll reassign the other activities for you so you don't have to keep doing that. Sorry about that. That's very frustrating, I know. And we have 2 articles we're going to read in ReadWorks. We have amphibians and fish. And we'll add for both articles. So when you do your book of knowledge, I need you to put some things down about amphibians and some things down about fish. So you should have about 6 sentences for that. And then we have grammar, capitalizing titles worksheets. We have 2 of those, and those will be in our Google Classroom, where you'll be able to type those and submit them right there, and I can see them and check them for you. And then we have a day 2 lesson for our writing lesson. So yesterday we picked the 4 animals that we were most interested in, and so Mrs. Sears is going to take you on the next lesson to help you start writing your informational story. Then we have 2 sheets in line plots and reading line plots, and those are also in Google Classroom. So when you do those answers, those will get turned right into me as well as soon as you hit submit. So then your stuff's all turned in. At the bottom, we just need to check off what we've done on our daily assignment task sheet, and then you're finished for the day. So if you haven't finished anything from yesterday, then you can have time to finish those up. Excuse me, my throat's a little scratchy. All right, so let me move myself out of the way here. And then our morning work today, it says read the sentence, write the word correct or incorrect to tell if the sentence has correct punctuation. If it's incorrect, add punctuation to fix it. So the baby dances when her parents sing Alice the Camel. So write correct or incorrect to tell if the sentence has the correct punctuation. If it's correct, add punctuation. If it's incorrect, add punctuation to correct it. So let's look here. It's the name of a song. So thinking about what we did yesterday, what punctuation marks should be on here? Remember, we said poems and songs, we do quotation marks, and titles of books and movies we underline. So on number 1, this looks like it would be incorrect, and then we need to put whatever punctuation marks we need to add to that one. Number 2, my grandparents took me to see the movie Finding Dory. It's a movie, and there's a title. They capitalized it, and they underlined it, so this looks like it's correct. I'll let you do the other 2 on your own, but I will read them to you. Chelsea remembers all the words in the poem In a Garden. Number 4, when I finish reading Hatchet, I'll read James and the Giant Peach. All right, so you'll write down if it's correct or incorrect. If you write incorrect, fix what needs to be corrected on that one. And if you were able to stop, I saw that 20 people stopped by, which was great, to pick up your bag with all of your school supplies in there. So you can just go right into your workbook and use that and not have to print anything off anymore. So that's exciting. I'm happy to have that. I think next week we'll add vocabulary back in because we were doing such a great job with vocabulary. For this week, we won't start that. But go ahead and use your morning work book to keep doing these pages, and that will be nice to get back to that. There were a few headphones left over that didn't have names on them. So I will try in the next few days to get back to the school and put them in bags and take pictures of them, or take them out of the bags, I should say, and take pictures of them. And if they belong to you, you can tell me which ones belong to you, and then I will leave them in the front office with your name on them so you can pick those up. So I did have probably about 10 at least that didn't have names, and I wasn't sure. And then if I did put your headphones in your bag and you ended up with ones that were not yours, please let me know. I was pretty sure Most of them had the name on it, or I had seen you wear them, so I knew that they were yours. And if there's anything that you can think of that I didn't put in your bag, please let me know, because I'm pretty sure that I went through all of your book boxes. I went through all of our supplies, and I went through all of the supply carts, and I went through all of our desks. I swept them all out so they're all clean, and so that you could get all of your things sent home. All right, back to schoolwork. For math on our morning work, it says look at the table. Use it to complete the math sentences. So this table is comparing liquid volumes. So how much a container can hold of liquid. So 1 pint of liquid is the same as 2 cups of liquid. 1 quart of liquid is the same as 2 pints. Now let's think about that math. If 1 pint is 2 cups, how many are 2 pints? That would be 4 cups. So there are 4 cups in a quart. Then it says 1 gallon is equal to 4 quarts. So if we think about this quart here is worth 4 cups. So a quart for a gallon, we use it 4 times. 4 times 4 would be 16 cups of liquid in a gallon. So in your gallon of milk, you would have to do 16 1-cup measures to be the same as 1 gallon. Or you'd have to do 4 quarts or 2 pints, depending on what you would want to do. You'd have to multiply those to have enough. All right, so we're going to compare that. So 2 pints equals how many cups? We just talked about that. So 2 of these would equal how many cups? 3 quarts right here would equal how many pints? 3 gallons would equal how many quarts? So we're multiplying that 3 by our quarts here. 1 quart is equal to how many cups? So we're looking at the cups here. And then 16 pints, which are these, is equal to how many gallons? All right. Read the text, then answer the question. So the question says, would the text be more helpful if the information was in a numbered list? All right, so it sounds to me like they're going to be listing things. Would it be more helpful if it was in a numbered list? Tell why you think so. How to make chocolate dipped strawberries. You'll need a pint of strawberries and a cup of chocolate chips. Rinse the strawberries and set them aside to dry. Melt the chocolate chips in the microwave. Stir the melted chocolate. Dip strawberries in the chocolate. Put the chocolate dipped strawberries in the fridge to cool. So in your opinion, do you think that this would be easier if it was like 1, you need a pint of strawberries and a cup of chocolate chips. Number 2, rinse the strawberries and set them aside to dry. 3, melt the chocolate chips in the microwave. Number 4, stir the melted chocolate. 5, dip strawberries in the chocolate. And 6, put the chocolate dipped strawberries in the fridge to cool. Would that make more sense to you? Or do you think it's just fine this way? You can tell us what you think. All right, so this page right here, writing titles, this is in our Google Classroom. So you'll be able to type your answers right on here. You don't even have to print this paper off at all. It says, use a capital letter at the beginning of most words in the title of a book, a poem, a television show, or a movie. Underline the titles of books, television shows, or movies, and put quotation marks around the titles of poems, and we also know songs. So these will be the ones that you're going to do. I'll go over those with you in Google Classroom. And then we have capital letters and titles. It says the title of a work, like a book, poem, or movie, has capital letters. Some words in the title may not be capitalized. So remember, if they're less than 4 letters, we don't always have to capitalize those. Only the first word and the important words are given capital letters. Important words are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Usually article adjectives like a, and the, prepositions like under, over, of, in, and conjunctions like the words and but are in lower letters, unless they are the first word. For example, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. The is an article adjective. Even though the is an article adjective, it is still capitalized because it's the first word. The preposition of is not capitalized. The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. It's a preposition. We don't need to capitalize it. It doesn't have enough letters. It would need to be 4 letters or more. Example number 2, Little House in the Big Woods. Since the is not the first word in this title, right here, it is not capitalized. Neither is the preposition in. All right, so you're going to type below are titles that need their capital letters. Rewrite each one so it is correct. So you'll write all of these titles of books and movies in with correct capitalization. And then we have our line plots. So this is just like what we've been doing in our Envision lessons. Mr. Bradley is very proud of all the students in his science class. They all studied hard and did an excellent job on last week's science test. Everyone in the class scored an 88% or higher. The line plot below shows the score distribution. So it says science test scores. So the lowest score was an 88%, and the highest possible amount was 100%. So we're looking at this. We could see a lot of people got 89%. And so we're going to answer these questions. How many students received a score of 94%? You're going to go here and see how many got 94%. What was the highest score in the class? Go up to the top. Which one had the highest score? What was that score? You can see this highest one is 98%. What was the lowest score in the class? How many students received a score in the 80s? So you're going to look in all of the 80s. How many people received a score in the 80s? How many students received a score in the 90s? How many students scored 93% or above? So finding here, they scored 93 or higher. How many students are in Mr. Bradley's science class? We need to count all of the scores to say how many kids. And then Mr. Bradley decides to give each student 2 percentage point bonus points on their lab test for participating in class. Explain how you would change the graph to show the new test scores. So if he added 2 points to everybody's, how would that shift this graph? So if you added 2 points to this 98, where would these 2 students be? They'd be at 100%, wouldn't they? So how does that affect all of these? You'll use your words to explain that. Reading line plots. So this graph is showing, or this line plot is showing us ages of school chess club members, how old they are. There's 8 years old, 9, 10, 11, and 12-year-olds. There's a lot of 10-year-olds, aren't there? So then we have some questions. The youngest player in the chess club is how old? How many 12-year-olds are in the chess club? So you'll look for 12-year-olds. Are there more 11-year-olds or 9-year-olds in the club? Are there more 11-year-olds or 9-year-olds in the club? A teacher divides the chess club into 3 teams. The pawns are under 10 years old. So you have to be under, not 10. You have to be under 10. That would be the first group of people. The knights are 10 years old. That would be just this group. And then the rooks are over 10 years old. So it's past 10. How many members are on each team? So what you can do is write pawns equals how many, knights equals how many, rooks equal how many. How many total kids are chess club members? So you're going to add up how many kids we have all together. And if 2 more 12-year-olds and half a dozen is 12, so what would half of that be? If 2 more 12-year-olds and half a dozen more 9-year-olds join the club, how many players would there be in all? So you found out how many there were. Now you're adding this many on there. All right, that would be all that you would need to do. So let's head over to our, let's see here. Let's head over to our Google Classroom. All right. And in here you'll have informational writing day 2. It just hasn't shown up yet, but it will be in there. And then here's your capital letters in titles work. And you can just click on the page and then you can add your answers right in here where it says type here. So you can read your paper and type your answers in right there. When you're all finished, hit submit and send it back to me. And then we have our writing titles. That's the paper where we're going to write in the titles here. Let's see here. It shows everybody's assigned to that paper on that last page. All right, so here you're going to type in, we are going to the movie Frozen after school today. It says, put quotation marks around the titles of poems, underline the titles of books, television shows, or movies. So you're going to put it here. Rewrite each title correctly. You're just doing the title. All right. Back here. And then our math, our line plot is right here. So you're going to type your answers in on this page. You can even highlight it and then change the answer to what you want it to be, and then hit submit. And finally, we have our reading line plots chess club, the one we just went over. And so you're going to type your answers wherever it says type here. And up here, don't forget, it says your name, so that when you're turning it in, make sure you have your name on everything there. All right. Well, there's a lot of duplicates of me in this one. All right. So if you have any questions, let me know. I'm hoping that we can start using Google Classroom. If it works out well this week, especially on Friday when we do our tests, we're going to be doing them in Google Classroom. If that's the case, we won't need to be printing any more paperwork. We will just go to Google Classroom and be able to do our work there and submit it right there. And that way Mom and Dad don't have to take pictures of it and scan it to me. It'll just come to me as soon as you finish. So it'll make it a little bit more efficient. I'm glad I learned it, and hopefully it'll make it easier for everybody. You won't have to pick up packets anymore. You won't have to turn in packets anymore. You won't have to download packets or print packets or turn anything in. It'll all be done in Google Classroom. So I'm hoping that works out. If you have any concerns or questions or any feedback about that idea, please let me know, because of course I want to make sure that I'm doing whatever I can to make this the best for all of you at home, and the easiest for you to keep working hard. And I know the weather's really nice, so it's hard to do that, but just remember that you're preparing yourself for fourth grade. And the more you do now, it'll make everything a lot easier for you next year. So don't get discouraged. Take breaks. Breaks are important. You have a lot of time to get this work done. I don't need everything turned in until Sunday, so I give you even more time. If you're one of the people who wants to have their weekend free, get your work done, on time, and that way you don't have to worry about it. So either way, still, if you haven't turned in your March calendar, please do that. And I will, I didn't get a read aloud today or yesterday, excuse me. But I will get one done right after this video. I'll do one for you guys. All right. I'm here for you if you need anything. Thank you guys for working so hard on all of these new changes. And if you haven't had a chance to go pick up your bag with all of your school supplies, please stop by the office. They're open today and they're open tomorrow from 9 to noon. So, all right, guys, have a great day. I miss you.